Hello, I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. The fate of DJ Renardo Harris now rests in the hands of Justice Marlene Carter after the court heard closing arguments Friday afternoon. The prosecution's case was the defendant should be found guilty of the 2 counts of rape that led to the victim having to obtain an abortion, while the defense argument was she wanted it. The allegations date back to an incident on July 14, 2018. Justice Carter noted that she would need some time to consider the submissions and provide a written judgment, and ultimately she noted that this came down to a question of credibility. She hopes to be able to provide her decision on November 25th. The Public Health Department, Customs and Border Control, and the Mosquito Research and Control Unit says there is no outbreak or community transmission of dengue, despite rumors circulating in the community. Recently, a Cuban migrant did test positive for the illness and is receiving the appropriate care, and the Public Health Department has confirmed that the individual contracted the virus prior to arriving in the Cayman Islands. Glass will no longer be accepted at any Department of Environmental Health locations or at the Camana Bay location. Glass will have to be disposed of instead of crushed for reuse. The public is advised to put glass in regular garbage for collection until further notice. Cayman Youth Parliamentarian Chad Powell Jr. drew attention to the high cost of living and housing crisis in the Cayman Islands when he addressed the UK Youth Parliament and Speaker of the House of Commons Sir Lindsay Howell last week.
I've been given much consideration into the question that I've been given, which is, what is the most important issue facing the youth of the Cayman Islands today? And although a lot of things have crossed my mind, I've consulted many peers, mentors, and friends. I've considered the climate issue, but I feel like that's been discussed more than eloquently by my friends today. And I would like to discuss the biggest issue that I've come to, which is the housing and cost of living crisis. I love the Cayman Islands, and I intend to live and grow old there one day. But the immensely high cost of living and our disastrous housing crisis has caused many people my age, many people like me, to not only consider, but pretty much have it not even in the back of their mind, not even thinking about it, they are going to move away. We are losing our Caymanians. And maybe one day, hopefully not, we may not have any left. Now, often, as under 18, we like to discuss issues like bullying and peer pressure. But as we look to our future, I think that we have more pressing matters. When I ask people my age where they intend to live when they get older, almost everyone says they're going to move away, not even thinking about it. And when I ask them why, I get a lot of the same answers. It's too expensive to live here. I'll never be able to afford a home. I'll never be able to afford groceries, so I'll have to move away. Not that they want to, but they have to. Because if given the choice, they would definitely say, stay in our beautiful islands. Our cost of living is one of the highest in the world, often turning up on not only just the top 10 charts, but the top 5, the top 3. For the highest cost of living is causing so many people who would in any other country be able to live not only a regular life, but a comfortable life, to be struggling for food. I remember some of my friends saying that they would time what time they go to sleep so that maybe they could skip a meal and then their parents could afford to eat for themselves. This is not something that we should ever have to think about or worry about. And these are young children doing this. Children as young as 10 years old, thinking about skipping meals just so their parents can afford to stay alive and keep them with them. Last year, our youth parliament moved a motion called Restriction on High-Cost Housing and Implementation of a Land and Housing Purchase License for Non-Caymanians. This was an effort to get restriction on the price of houses and the purchase of properties by persons not even residing in the Cayman Islands. The debate went viral, which goes to show that our youth is thinking ahead to issues will affect us for a long time, and hopefully not, but maybe the rest of our lives. And to close off, I'm so glad that I could see so many representatives from the overseas territories here. And with all that we have in common, perhaps we can form something new.
Powell was in the UK with other youth representatives from British overseas territories who were given the opportunity to address the UK Youth Council Parliament for the first time. More than 200 young people between 11 and 18 years old met in Westminster to participate in the debate sessions. Just days after the conclusion of the NORCECA Under-23 Beach Volleyball Tournament, the Cayman Islands Volleyball Federation is already preparing for the next international competition, which is even bigger than the Under-23 event and will take place over the upcoming long weekend. The Security Center NORCECA Beach Volleyball Tournament starts this Friday and concludes on Sunday. Now for your CMR weather update. It's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise at 6:29. Mostly sunny skies are expected when the temperature is at 85 degrees Fahrenheit and humidity is 67% like the forecast calls for. It will feel around the low 90s. Winds northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour and the sun sets at 5:48. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the high 70s. Looking forward, hot days, warm nights with the possibility of brief showers. CMR weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, so we encourage you to support them.
Stormwatch 2022 is brought to you by Home Gas, your propane experts before, during, and after the storm.
Subtropical storm Nicole is near the Bahamas and will head for Florida's east coast later this week. Nicole is forecast to turn into a Category 1 hurricane before landfall in Florida. Now, regardless of where the center makes landfall, just about all of Florida will have some impacts from the storm. Now for some regional and international news. Several residents in the northern part of St. Lucia were trapped in their homes and there were reports of land slippage as heavy rainfall on Sunday resulted in flooding. Some people have reported that the flooding was up to their neck. 35 people were killed in Jamaica last week, bringing the country's murder tally since the start of this year to 1,329 as of November 5th. Last week was one of the bloodiest weeks in the country since the start of the year, according to the Jamaica Gleaner. There has been an 8% increase in the number of murders so far in 2022 compared to the corresponding period last year, 98 more than the 1,231 recorded for the same period in 2021. Trinidad's National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines says the Rose Hill RC Primary School in the capital will reopen on Wednesday, 1 week after a video began circulating on social media showing school children and the teacher hiding in a classroom amid the sound of nearby gunfire. Following the incident, teachers and students paused physical classes at the school, instead reverting to virtual classes, and the Education Ministry said the staff and students were also receiving counseling. That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.